Alright, just a quick one here because I really just wanted to shout out this super cool little indie game. I often feel like little FPS gems like this don't really get enough exposure, and well, even if no one watches this, at least I feel like I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
I've often said this, but I do truly believe we are in a golden era of first-person shooters. Sure, the AAA slop that we get in this genre is often just completely soulless cash grabs, like the newest COD or, well, attempted cash grabs like Concord. The indie scene, on the other hand, is absolutely thriving. Credit partly due to the expanding accessibility of the tools and resources used to make them. I love a good little 5 to 10 hour game that I can finish in a couple sittings and then, put away for a while. And that's the format that a lot of these games are going for now. It's how most FPS games were when I was growing up. I'm just so over the idea of a video game being a second job at this point. It got old a while ago, and I think most of us are just in denial. Please don't check my Tarkov hours. Enter I Am Your Beast.
Something got thrown.
So the basic premise of the game is that you're playing through a series of small levels, essentially. Each level is preceded by some well-written story exposition coupled with excellent voice acting to deliver it.
Come on out, you big bitch.
Okay.
Wait.
Be careful what you wish for.
And once you hit the ground in each level, you'll be tasked with certain objectives like destroying antennas or hacking computers, or just simply killing everybody. After which you again exit into a tunnel system, waiting to surface again. Rinse, repeat. Right. So you're playing as some sort of special agent type dude named Alphonse Harding. Essentially the story here is that you've gone AWOL and your former general wants you back for a job. Obviously your skills are of immense value to this organization because they're trying their hardest to dig you out of this quiet life in the forest. Which is, well, those skills are on full display in the combat here. This is peak power fantasy type stuff. You are an absolute force of nature. This is the good stuff, man. I mean, some of these sequences, when you just get such a good run strung together, it's just, chef's kiss.
Yeah, boy.
And by stringing together, I mean you'll want to be taking on these levels multiple times or repeating them on a first run until you get them right. Now, for the most part, the levels present all kinds of different routes for you to try, and with a few more linear levels sprinkled in between, and then of course some arena levels featuring waves of enemies. The more linear levels are mostly dealing with some sort of story context, and the open-ended levels will usually only present you with maybe one or two primary routes if you're trying to achieve like an A or an S ranking. Now, the ranking system at first seems trivial to the story of the game, however it becomes necessary at certain points because progression will be locked behind whether you have ranked A or S on a certain amount of levels, or completed a certain number of bonus challenges. These challenges are just another layer of replayability added on top of this already addictive game loop. They involve all kinds of things like going melee only, destroying certain objects, or headshots only, etc. The only real criticism I can field here is the price point seems a bit off at $20, but I often have a hard time judging this sort of thing because it feels like, all of a sudden one day $80 was just the price point that became normal for AAA games. What I mean by this is that while addicting and challenging, the game was a bit short for our first playthrough of the story. If you just burn through the bare minimum to finish the game, you'll be able to do it in 1 or 2 sittings. I think I clocked in at only 3 hours, basically just one afternoon. However, there are a ton of bonus challenges and extra challenge levels to unlock here, so that's more than enough to make up for that. And ultimately I feel like might be the point here. Also, $20 for a solid indie game is honestly nothing for most adults with jobs and stuff. Like, it's hard to judge if this is a high point for some people because, You know, some of you have enough disposable income to buy e-girl bathwater, so you better not complain.
If you're a broke boy, just say so.
Overall though, I Am Your Beast is a super fun little indie gem. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't got as much attention as it deserves, but at least the Steam reviews agree with me here. There's a lot of content in this space now, and it's getting harder to stand out. Also, this game is a feature-complete full game as well, which should be appealing to anybody like myself that is just absolutely exhausted by the indie early access model at this point. The replayability factor kind of depends on where on the, 0 to ultra kill point you fall in the autism spectrum, but, even if you just want something fun to blast through on a weekend sometime, this really hits the spot. I Am Your Beast is awesome. You should check it out. Thanks for watching.